Become a priority in your life. That is our quote of the week. Hey everyone, welcome to Coffee Chat with Danny, where we are live every Monday, bringing you a new quote of the week to help you shift into the new week ahead, a dose of motivation to help you shift that mindset as we start our new week. We start the beginning of the new week. So hi, how's it going? Happy Monday. Let me know you're here. Let me know if you're ready for this Monday or if you want to pull the covers over and go back to bed. What's going on with you this week? So our quote of the week, become a priority in your life. This is probably, I would say, the number one thing that I realized, hey Sarah, a few years ago, probably I want to say it's been 6 or 7 years now, where I never had made myself a priority in my life, and it showed. I always did everything for everybody else, right? I was the last one to do anything for myself. And I didn't even realize it for the most part. And when I shifted that, I saw how not only did it shift myself and what I felt about myself and how I acted, but also in how others began to treat me. Because here's the thing, when you put yourself first, when you make yourself a priority, first off, you show up differently into this beautiful world. You show up with more confidence. You show up with more love and respect for yourself. You show up with this idea that you deserve. You deserve whatever it is that you want when you start putting you first. So what might that translate into? That might translate into people treating you differently, people respecting you differently, people admiring you. A lot of the times we think, oh, admiration comes from people, because we did this for them or we did that for them. But oftentimes it comes from them seeing in us what maybe they can't do for themselves. It's one thing that I learned for myself was it's not always about doing things for people to get that respect and that admiration. It's a lot of the time about showing up as me and allowing people to see me for who I truly am. So how do you do that though? How do you put yourself first, especially when for so long you haven't? It's exactly what I did, right? I hadn't put myself first for a very, very long time. And when I started to put myself first, things got a little shaky. People who had expected me to act a certain way or to be a certain way or to do certain things were like, who is this? And where did you come from? We want that old girl back, right? They weren't used to it. I was changing things. I was shifting things. And people were like, wait, what's going on? And I can tell you, it was the best decision I've ever made, probably. There's been a few, but one of the top 3 at least. Because what happened is my relationships with these people changed. And the people who weren't good for me, the people who weren't either supporting me or didn't have my best interest at hand, they slowly went away, which was great. I don't need them in my life. But the people who did support me, the people who loved me and admired me and respected me were amazed. I was amazed at how much more they enjoyed my company, how much more they respected me, how much more they admired me just by making that tiny little shift. So how do we do this? How do we put ourselves first? Well, it can be, I can tell you, a little difficult, right? But what can you do? And this is a question that I started to ask myself. What can you do today for you? And in some days, it would be to take a shower. Sometimes we just forget to take a shower, right? If we're so caught up in what we're doing, if we're so overwhelmed by what other people are expecting of us, or we've said yes to so many things that we didn't honor our morning routine maybe. A lot of people tell me, like, I want to have a morning routine. I want to have a morning routine, Danny. How do I do it? And I'm like, well, just say that you want to do it. Make the decision that you want to do it. That's where it begins. It begins with you first deciding. Now that you've decided, let's make it a priority. What we make a priority gets done. Think about your day right now. Think about your past week. Think about your past month. What did you do? What did you get done? It's the things that you made a priority. I've been talking about this all month because our action expresses priority. So what have you been putting a priority? If you said for this week, I'm going to put me as a priority, what would that look like? What might happen? What might you do? For me, it was taking that shower first thing in the morning. I'm a morning shower person. It's just how I roll. And it wakes me up. I feel fresh. I feel cleaned. I feel like I've released the night, released anything that was kind of on me, right? My energy is kind of cleared, right? I do that for me, not for anybody else. I feel good doing it, right? That's putting me first. Deciding that I'm going to take the shower this morning is putting me first. Another way that I put myself first is I wake up before everybody else in the house. And it's just 30 minutes before everybody else. Well, with some cases, it might be a little bit longer, but it's generally at least 30 minutes. And that 30 minutes where they're all sleeping and the house is completely quiet is for me. I get to do whatever I want during that time. That's just for me. Whether it's sitting down and having a cup of coffee, whether it's doing a meditation, whether it's doing some quick stretches, whether it's all three combined into one. Putting yourself first doesn't have to be a big, huge, drastic thing. I think sometimes we think these things have to be big and huge. They don't. Taking a shower is a priority. Making a decision, right, that I'm going to do this today, that I'm going to get up and I'm going to go have my coffee before anything else. That's putting you first. Deciding where you want to go eat. Deciding what you want to do that day. That is putting you first. Looking at what your priorities are for the day, looking at what you want to accomplish and doing it is putting you first. Saying no is putting you first. Saying no to the things that are going to infringe upon you, that are going to infringe upon putting you first. That is what becoming a priority in your life looks like. And when you make that shift, trust me, you're going to see such improvement in not only how you feel, but how others are feeling about you. And you'll find those right people. Right now, it might feel lonely, right? Like you have to do these things in order to keep these people around, but you don't. There are so many other great people out there waiting for you to show up, waiting for you to put yourself a priority so they can find you. So that is our coffee chat today. How can you become a priority in your life? How can you do things for you before anybody else? You might want to think about that this week and see where you're making yourself a priority and where you're not, and how we can shift that. All right, that is it for us today. Have a fabulous, great, fabulous, great. They're both the same. Have a fabulous week, everyone. And remember to be you and to be amazing. Bye.